Welcome, everybody, to a very special interview with myself, Chris Kiver, the president of the Eastern region, and Amanda Hanzlik, who in just a little over a month will become the president of the Eastern region. And so this is kind of a bittersweet moment in some ways, but we thought it would be a great way for you as the membership to get a little more insight into what makes Amanda Hanzlik tick and what she has planned for us for the next 2 years. So Amanda, it's great to be with you.
Same.
And we will kick off by saying, first of all, whilst you're very well known to many of the members in the Eastern region, tell us a little bit about your career to this point.
Sure. And thank you, Chris, for thinking this up. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity just to, reach out to the membership. And I miss our daily and weekly Zoom calls. So this is wonderful. Thank you
I'm
for
sure
doing
that I'm
this.
sure they'll reconvene by the time we get towards your conference.
I am sure they will. But yeah, so I've been teaching music for 26 years, and I'm in my 13th year right now at the high school level. But starting in 1998, I've been teaching in kind of every singing space you could possibly imagine, from elementary school general music to church choir, community children's choir. I taught at the collegiate level, done lots and lots of work in musical theater, regional theater, and even senior citizen ensembles, as well as working with babies and toddlers and preschoolers in a community music setting here at the University of Connecticut. So I've been making music in lots and lots of different kinds of communities for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not from the East Coast originally. I'm actually from Iowa. I was born and raised in the state of Iowa, and I went to the University of Iowa. I was really, really lucky to have two really amazing, amazing choral educators at the middle school and high school level. Two women, which was very unusual for that time period. So their names are Jean Hickman and Paula Keeler, and they absolutely changed my life in so many ways. And honestly, even if I hadn't gone into music, the profound effect that they had on me as a human being, not just as a musician, I would still, no matter what profession I had gone into, I would still be talking about the two of them and all of the things that I learned from them through engaging with choir. Like I said, I did go to the University of Iowa, and Dr. William Hatcher was my collegiate choral director, and he really opened a world to me that I just had no idea existed. And it was in my senior year of college. I was singing in the graduate level 28 member ensemble called Cantori at the University of Iowa. And I remember him coming to the rehearsal and telling everyone we were accepted to the regional ACDA
Oh.
conference. And I remember thinking, what is ACDA? I didn't know what ACDA was. And but boy, did I find out. Going to that conference as a student, as a 21, 22-year old, I had no idea what I was in for. And of course, I've looked to the ACDA throughout all of these years of educating, for my resources, for my people, for a place to connect with other choral educators. And now to be here in this new role and to be so heavily involved with creating resource and elevating the art form in creative ways and hopefully connecting people to each other. I really, really, it feels very full circle for me. And it feels it's very important to me really to carry on the legacy of those three choral educators who had such profound impact on my life personally and artistically.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that
yeah,
William Hatcher, if I remember correctly, he was actually a national president.
I believe he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Yes,
Yeah.
he was. Um, and so, in relation to all of that, in 1998, I left Iowa and moved to the East Coast. And my husband and I lived and worked and went to grad school in New York City for 10 years before moving to Northeastern Connecticut. The high school where I teach is on campus at the University of Connecticut. And we have a wonderfully diverse and incredible student body. We are actually an agricultural magnet school,
Oh,
which is a really cool, unusual, wonderful element to our school. And we have a thriving music program. And I'm really, 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 really grateful to now be conducting choirs as my main source of inspiration and income and connection to the choir world.
yeah. Well, I think, one of the, it's great to hear you articulate all the experiences you've had, because it makes you really a perfect leader for ACDA as we try, although it's difficult, we try to make sure we cover as many of the great variety of groups that call themselves choirs, right?
Right. Thank
Now,
you.
you may remember that the first time we met was backstage in Rochester, 2020.
It was.
And
Oh my
you were
gosh.
just doing your final little warm-ups. You were literally about to go on, and I came and I was emceeing the concert. And
Mhm.
your choir from Edwin O. Smith High School
Yep.
um, were fabulous.
Thank
And then here we are doing this interview. Can you tell
you.
us a little bit more about what are your duties at Edwin O. Smith?
So I that memory is the best one. I love that you shared that. Thank you for sharing that. My duties at EO Smith High School. I have kind of the best job in the whole world. I have to be honest. We have about 100 students in the choral program. We have 4 choirs.
Mhm.
2 of them are curricular, and 2 of them are non-curricular, or what we at our school call club choirs. So there's a treble ensemble, a tenor bass ensemble that exist after school. And then we have a concert choir um, of like that's the big ninth through 12th grade, everyone come and sing choir. And then we also have a 10th, 11th, and 12th grade auditioned chamber ensemble. And we do lots and lots of community events throughout our we actually have 5 towns that send
Okay.
into our high school. So our high school is a regional school. And so I teach choir all day long. Got the 3 sections of choir, and then I teach a private lesson, group lesson schedule for all
Okay.
of my students. So in the same way that our band and orchestra also have a lesson program for all of the students that are enrolled, the choir has the same thing.
Ah,
And it's wonderful because it's such an interesting and wonderful place for personal connection to my students, for them to each other, especially with all the different towns that send into our community. It's a great place for them to connect and kind of be cared for. It's a safe, social and emotional space. They get a lot of attention
yeah.
for their vocal development, for their just theoretical knowledge, historical knowledge, all of the things, kind of like really interesting detail work and assistance and mastery learning really happens in those lesson sections. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
I'm also really lucky that I have an accompanist, a collaborative pianist who comes 1 day a week, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I know that many schools do not have that. And I'm really grateful for that partnership and friendship with my collaborative pianist. But yeah, that's my gig at EO Smith High School. I get to sing all day. I have about eight
You.
concerts. Eight
Uh-huh.
concerts a year is kind of the average. Um, and we love it, and I love it. It's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful to hear. So
Mhm.
you and I were co-chairs of the Providence conference earlier this
Yep.
year. What did you learn in that position, and what was your favorite memory of the conference? Just thinking sort of as you move ahead now into the president's role.
Hmm. Ooh. Oh my gosh, because it's so hard to narrow that down. Um, I distinctly remember standing at registration on day one and just being in the wildly privileged position to stand and see people see each other.
Mhm.
Just the joy and the excitement and the like the true authentic joy in
Mhm.
seeing each other, seeing friends, seeing colleagues, seeing people you've gone to school with or worked with, or just that really intentional connecting, and the joy inside of it was just palpable. And I loved seeing that happen as well, like in all of the exhibits. Just I think it was the that swirling sea
Uh-huh.
of human beings coming together and enjoying their time and enjoying the space. I felt obviously we all get together at conferences to be with our people and to kind of actualize into our artistic selves in a fresh way that we don't get to in our daily lives most of the time. It's a different kind of amped up environment. So I really enjoyed that. Honestly, I really enjoyed going into sessions that were so packed I
Mhm.
couldn't get in the door. I mean, it was just so thrilling to see so many people actively engaging in just the learning process and the togetherness of it all. And it was so incredible. And those are the big kind of takeaways. And they're very communally based, I guess, in the sentiment that I'm trying to express. But my favorite moment of the whole concert, or the whole concert, I'm sorry, the whole conference was before the concert on Friday evening when we had Janet Galvan
Mhm.
conduct us all in the singing of Hark, I Hear the Harps Eternal. That is a moment that I almost couldn't take in. Um, it was so special. And it's something that just embedded in me and on me in a really profound way. I had the best seat in the house because I was standing at the very front to the side taking a video of that exact moment. And that video is coming out very, very soon to the region.
Great.
Um, and what I loved so much is that Dr. Galvan was like giving us
Mhm.
very specific instructions and telling us to watch and do the articulations. And I was just living for it. I loved it so much. But to observe almost 800 people in that beautiful space singing that song that has touched so many of our lives at one point or another, to honor her,
Mhm.
it was so moving.
Mhm.
And I mean, when do we all of us ever get together and really sing together?
Yeah.
It was the it was the best. It was my favorite moment by far.
Yeah, then we sounded pretty good too.
We sounded great. I'd put us up against any other region.
There you go. Absolutely. There should be a,
No, I know.
The Voice episode or
Some
something.
sort of
The region.
contest, right?
There you go. There you go. So here we are, just a month away from you beginning your term as president.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought it'd be great if you could maybe just take a few moments to share some of your vision for the next 2 years for our region.
Well, I would say that that vision is a continuation,
Mhm.
right? It's a continuation of, you know, Penelope Cruz's vision and
Yep.
your vision, and how our roles are so closely linked together. It's a continuation of what we saw in Cincinnati. It'll be a continuation of what we
Uh-huh.
see in Dallas. It's this interweaving of how we evolve and how we are have been evolving, are currently evolving, and then the new people and practices and choirs and opportunities that will come to us, they still remain to be seen.
Mhm.
I definitely am looking forward to being inspired by some new members in our executive board.
Mhm.
One of my visions and hopes is that we will actually be expanding our um, team of people on our regional board level for diversity and equity initiatives. And that's something that's really important to me, and I know to all of us. And I'm really, really looking forward to that group of people and to working with them to help all of us look at programming and resource and everything through an even more broad and diverse lens. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to looking at non-conference
Uh-huh.
resource and
Yep.
how the region can really change it up and change the game with collaborating with state chapters, supporting state chapters, creating some big regional events throughout geographic locations in the region to give more access to more members, and to continuing this move toward paying attention, a lot of attention, to the other 360 days a year that we aren't in a conference together. Um, and so that is where my intention is set right now. Um, and without giving too much away, I got to keep
Oh yeah, we've got
some
to make
things
the big reveal.
uh, for the big reveal, right? But really, those are the things that I'm thinking about. It's the continuation of all of the work that's been done. Specifically, I would say post COVID, the way we have changed, the way we have all changed
Yep.
as people, as artists, as the way that in the way that we use this art form to engage with the world and for the world. Um, I want to continue pointing us all toward the great work that has been done in our organization and continuing that, and then allowing more people into that space to be creative, together.
Yeah, that's really very well put, Amanda. And I think it's striking how just since how much things have changed since 2020, and in terms of how fluid our profession is at the moment, compared to what it used to be, where we sort of work pretty much within a fairly rigid framework.
Right.
And I'm particularly struck by what you say that um, you have a 2-year term as president, but we don't really know what's going to be happening in 2 years. And so it's
This
exciting.
is true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
exciting
true.
to be able to adapt to whatever it is that comes along. But I know, Amanda, that you're uh, the person to help lead us through 2026.
Thank
And I would say a huge thank you to you for being a wonderful colleague and friend. And I've learned very much from you over the last 2 years, and you've done so much to help make the region to be a more prominent part of uh, our membership's lives. And I know that's going to continue.
you.
I am here for you, and
Thank you.
will do as much or as little as you would like me to do. But it's been great to catch up with you today. I wish you all the very, very best. And for our membership, you have now met our incoming president, Amanda Hanzlik.
Oh, Chris, thank you so much. This was so kind of you to suggest this. I really, really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to you as well, because you brought me in to this mix, um, honestly, just so kindly and so seamlessly. It never felt difficult. It never felt awkward. I mean, you were so kind to me and so patient with me as I was just learning the ropes. And I feel really, really grateful to have been so involved in this past conference. So I feel so ready,
Right.
to engage with the 2026 in a really like peaceful and solid and happy way. So I really, really, truly appreciate all of your mentorship and your assistance and your guidance, um, and I'm just very grateful. And thank you for your service to our region. And although you are now past president, you are not getting away. Often past presidents are like, I'll be sipping my drink on the beach. In my past president role, that's been an inside joke for us, everyone. But I
Uh-huh.
promise I'm not letting Chris Kiver get away that easily. He will still be involved. So, anyway,
I look forward to it, Amanda,
me
and
too.
all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.